It had been nearly a year since I'd broken things off with Vanessa, and in that time, I had done everything I could to move on. Blocked her number, changed my routine, even moved to a different part of town. She was beautiful, sure, but that beauty hid something far darker. Vanessa was the kind of woman who needed control over everything. Over me. When we were together, she twisted every argument to make herself the victim, every mistake became my fault, and every attempt to leave was met with guilt, threats, or worse. I finally got out, and for a while, I felt free. Then, last week, a text from an unknown number popped up. "Hey. It's been a while. Can we talk?" I knew who it was immediately. I should have ignored it. But some stupid part of me thought, maybe she's changed. Maybe she just wants closure. So I made a mistake. I texted back. She suggested we meet for a drink at a small, out-of-the-way bar. Just to talk, she promised. Against my better judgment, I agreed. Maybe I wanted to prove to myself that I had truly moved on. Maybe I wanted to see if she had. I got to the bar first. It was a quiet place, dimly lit, with an old jukebox playing something soft and slow. I grabbed a booth in the back, facing the door. A few minutes later, Vanessa walked in. She looked the same. Perfectly put together. Effortlessly beautiful. But something about her smile made my stomach tighten. It wasn't happiness. It was satisfaction. Like she knew I would come. She slid into the booth across from me, tilting her head like she was studying me. "You look good," she said. "So do you." We made small talk at first, what we had been up to, work, life. She laughed at all the right moments, touched my hand when she spoke, her eyes locked onto mine like I was the only person in the world. And for a second, I almost forgot why I left her. Then she said, "I miss you." I exhaled, suddenly uncomfortable. I know, she interrupted, smiling as she reached into her purse. "I just wanted to give you something." She slid something across the table. A small, wrapped box. I didn't open it right away. "What is this?" She leaned forward slightly. A reminder. The way she said it sent a cold chill through me. Slowly, I unwrapped the box and lifted the lid. Inside was a key. I stared at it. "What is this for?" She smiled. "Your apartment." My breath caught in my throat. "What?" She tilted her head. "I made a copy before you moved." The room suddenly felt too small, the air too thick. My mind raced. I had changed the locks when I moved, hadn't I? But before that, she still had a key. I looked up at her, and for the first time that night, the mask slipped. Her smile was too wide, her eyes too bright with something that made my skin crawl. "How do you know where I live?" I asked, my voice low. She laughed softly. "Oh, baby," she whispered. I never stopped knowing. A sickening wave of realization crashed over me. I thought I had escaped her. Thought I had moved on. But Vanessa had never let go. She had been watching. I shoved the box back toward her and stood up. "Stay away from me." She didn't flinch. She just kept smiling, tilting her head like I was the one being unreasonable. "Are you sure you want to leave?" she asked, voice light and teasing. "You haven't even finished your drink." It was also weirdly ironic that she hated it when I used to drink when we were together. So the fact that she wanted to meet at one made very little sense to me at first. I glanced down at the glass in front of me. The whiskey I had ordered, untouched. My stomach twisted. Was she trying to drug me? I left without another word, pushing through the bar's doors into the night. My heart pounded as I reached my car, hands shaking as I unlocked it. I didn't look back. I didn't want to see her standing there, watching me. When I got home, I checked every lock. I searched my apartment, checked the closets, under the bed. Nothing was out of place. But the feeling wouldn't leave me. That night, I barely slept. Every creak, every shadow made my skin crawl. The next morning, I found a note taped to my door. I let you leave this time. But she still belonged to me. I moved again the next day. Changed my number. Left no forwarding address. I haven't heard from her since. But sometimes, when I walk home late at night, I swear I feel eyes on me. And every so often, I find things in my apartment slightly out of place, just enough to make me wonder. Sometimes I feel like she's not done with me yet.
The second story is coming up next.
When I broke up with Ava, I thought that was the end of it. I blocked her number, ignored the cryptic messages from our mutual friends, and tried to move on. For weeks, things were quiet. Until she found out I was seeing someone new. That was when everything changed. I was cooking dinner when the pounding started. Not knocking. Pounding. A slow dread settled in my stomach. I already knew who it was. Walking to the front door, I hesitated before looking through the peephole. Ava. Her blonde hair was damp with sweat, mascara smudged beneath her eyes, lips twisted into a grin that didn't reach them. She looked wild. Excited. I barely cracked the door open. What the hell are you doing here? She tilted her head, still smiling. 5 hours, she whispered. That's how long it took me to drive here. I swallowed hard. That meant she must have gotten in her car immediately after finding out about the new woman I met. Ava, you need to leave. She leaned against the door frame, eyes glinting. Oh, come on, Mark. We need to talk. There's nothing to talk about. She pouted, then, in one swift motion, reached into her pocket and held something up. My car keys. I patted my jeans, then turned toward the dish by the door where I always kept them. Empty. My pulse kicked up. How did you get those? Ava shrugged. You're so careless. Really, babe. You should be more careful with your things. She dangled them in front of me, taunting. I grabbed her wrist, prying the keys from her fingers. She didn't resist. In fact, she laughed about it. I slammed the door shut and locked it. My hands were shaking. Then my phone buzzed. It was a text from Ava. It read, "Go and check your boots." A chill ran through me. I turned to the entryway, where my work boots sat neatly beside the door. Slowly, I picked one up. Scratched deep into the leather were 2 letters. AJ. Ava's initials. My stomach twisted. She had been inside. I barely had time to process it before my phone buzzed again. It reads, "You left the back door unlocked." That was careless, babe. I turned toward the kitchen, making sure the back door was locked now. I knew I had to something before things got worse. Then I heard it again. Knock, knock, knock. I turned back to the front door, heart pounding. Ava's voice was soft. "Mark, please open the door." I said nothing. Then, barely above a whisper, she said, "Or should I let myself in?" My blood ran cold. That's when I realized my house key was no longer attached to my car keys. She let out a soft laugh. I mean, we could get a hotel room instead, if you'd rather a broken bar. My fingers tightened around my phone as I dialed 911. Ava started humming soft and slow, the same lullaby she used to hum when she spent the night. I pressed my forehead against the door, forcing myself to breathe. Then, finally, I said, "You need to leave, Ava. The police are on their way." Silence. Then, in that same soft, taunting voice, she whispered, "You'll always be mine, Mark." By the time the cops arrived, she was gone. But I didn't sleep that night. And in the morning, when I went to get in my car, my stomach dropped. There, on the dashboard, was a Polaroid of me, taken from inside my bedroom.
The third story is next.
Breaking up with Crystal was supposed to be the end of the nightmare. She was older than me by nearly 10 years, sharp-witted, and beautiful in a way that made people stare. But underneath, she was something else entirely. Manipulative. Controlling. Paranoid. I should have seen the red flags sooner, but love has a way of making you ignore the obvious. When I finally ended things, she didn't cry. She didn't yell. She just smiled at me in a creepy way. A slow, knowing smile that sent her shivers through me. "You are going to regret this, Bradley," she said, in a calm but also suspicious voice. She continues, "I promise, you will see." I shrugged it off at the time. I thought she would just move on and forget about me. I was completely wrong. It started out mostly harmless. I would receive calls from blocked numbers in the middle of the night. Texts from random numbers in other states. The messages were things like, "Do you ever think about what you lost? I wonder if she knows what kind of man you really are. Cheaters never prosper, Brad." I wasn't a cheater. I had been loyal to Crystal, despite the way she twisted things in her head. But trying to argue with her was like screaming into the void. She always believed whatever she wanted to believe. Then, one night after work, I walked out to the parking lot and felt my stomach drop. The driver's side window of my car was smashed in. Shards of glass covered the seat, glittering under the street lights. Inside, on the passenger seat, there was a rock with a crumpled piece of paper attached to it. I didn't have to open it to know who it was from. But I did. "I hope you are happy now, cheater." I felt a knot inside of my throat. I looked around the parking lot, but it was empty. Just the quiet hum of street lights and the distant sound of traffic. Was she watching? Waiting for me to see her message? I clenched my jaw, my pulse pounding in my ears. I wanted to call her, to scream at her, but I knew that's what she wanted, to get inside my head. I took a deep breath and called the police. They wrote a report and asked if I had any enemies. I told them I had a crazy ex-girlfriend. They nodded, took a few notes, but I could tell they weren't taking it seriously. "It's probably just a one-time thing," one officer said. I wanted to believe that. I really did. A few nights later, I stopped at a gas station on my way home. The place was mostly empty, just me and the attendant inside. As I was paying, I glanced up at the security screen behind the counter, the one that showed the camera feeds from outside. And I froze. Crystal's car, parked near the edge of the lot. The driver's seat was empty, but I knew it was her. She had a silver charm hanging from the rear view mirror, an angel, something her mother gave her. The clerk must have noticed my expression. "You okay, man?" I swallowed hard. "That car a broken bar, how long has it been there?" He shrugged. I'm not sure. Maybe 10 minutes? I nodded slowly and took my change. As I walked outside, my eyes flicked toward the car, but the driver's seat was still empty. Had she followed me? Had she been here the whole time? I got in my car, locked the doors, and peeled out of the lot without looking back. I drove for nearly an hour, taking random turns, doubling back, making sure I wasn't being followed. When I finally pulled over, my hands were shaking. This wasn't over. Not even close. I decided to leave town for a while. Clear my head. Stay with the buddy a few cities over. As I was packing a bag in my trunk, my phone buzzed. It was a call from an unknown number. I almost ignored it, but something was giving me a very bad feeling. I spun around, my eyes scanning the street. My car was parked under a street lamp, but everything beyond that was dark. Too dark. I took a step back toward my car, my heart hammering. Then I got a text. Going somewhere, Bradley? I jumped into my car and sped off. I didn't stop driving until I saw the city skyline disappear behind me. I changed my number the next day. I deleted all of my social media. I told my friends not to tell anyone where I was. I don't know where Crystal is now. I don't know if she's still looking for me. But sometimes, when I'm walking through a parking lot at night or stopping at a gas station, I get that feeling like someone is watching. And I wonder if I'll ever be truly free.